shortly after, while she was still there. And I told Ember to say something for me. That the void was coming to no avail. Then shortly after, when I was on my way, supposedly, Seely, the name of the spirit, according to them, said that he's coming, and a very frightened voice, and ran off towards a very particular island. Yeah. They were under the assumption that it was the bishop that she was referring to. I don't believe that.
I don't think so either. I think the bishop is a victim of whatever it is that they're probably running from. Maybe. Maybe not, but... I don't know. I know the bishop also seems to like... doing what he's doing a lot. Were you aware of the body? His body?
Yeah, I heard about that, but not from anyone who saw with their own two eyes, so go on.
Okay, so... there was a situation where this is all the way down at that alley where you pick up all the bottles off of the ground for that homeless guy. That's where it started. Bishop had been down there and he was messing with Elliot quite a bit, pulling pranks like he usually does. It ended up turning into a situation where he almost went full-on poltergeist, which is unusual because he does joke around here and there, but he doesn't get angry. This was a whole different attitude, like he's throwing a tantrum, and he was setting things on fire. He was throwing vehicles across the street. He even picked up a guy that arrived in a tow truck to tow a vehicle and threw him halfway across town. Like he was just mad. Thought it might have some...
What was the culprit? If you
We don't know.
Why was he
don't.
mad?
We still don't know. We assumed it had something to do with the lighthouse. Perhaps all the recent activity that had been taking place with the Naked Guardian and, I don't know, focus in general towards Cassidy and away from the lighthouse. We thought maybe he's jealous. Maybe there's something going on and he wasn't getting the attention of people frequenting the lighthouse the way he's used to. So, I don't know. We weren't 100% sure. But he was throwing a tantrum and it wouldn't stop, to the point we decided, you know what? We'll go to the lighthouse and we'll have a chat with you, find out what's going on. Our entire drive from that alley to the lighthouse was a battle to get to it. We were being picked up and thrown in the air. Vehicles in front of us were being thrown almost... At first it seemed like he was trying to clear a path, throwing the vehicles out of our way to allow us to get through quickly without having to stop. But then it quickly turned into us almost flying halfway there. We were airborne more than our tires were on the ground. We ended up falling and crashing over by whatever that road is that leads to the lighthouse, and the vehicle caught on fire, and then our attempts to run there were thwarted with the same. We were being picked up and blown back and tossed around on foot. So we finally stopped and decided we're not going to lighthouse, let's go the other direction, and he stopped chasing. And we gave it a few minutes, and then we did go to the lighthouse and just gunned it there, and we didn't get any interference. So we get there, we see billowing smoke coming from that campsite area that we go to often with the Ghost of Gordo. Billowing smoke, but there was no RV over there or anything that would have been a source of that much smoke. We were also hearing explosions. Prudence's house, I think, if I remember correctly, caught on fire at one point. And the explosions were coming from the lighthouse itself. We swam over there, I noticed a gaping hole in the side of the wall of the lighthouse. Down below, not the concrete wall towards the bottom was a gaping hole. And inside was a body. And it was wearing robes, similar to what the bishop wears. And had the cross necklace. Now, what happened at the lighthouse was not the bishop. What happened at the lighthouse was Alex. Those bombs exploding. Him guiding us in that direction. He literally at one point pushed us into the wall so we were close enough to see it. That wasn't the bishop, that was Alex. I could tell the difference in their voice. He was talking more, he was guiding us, he was whispering, trying to get us to go that direction. So Alex led us to Bishop's body. Now, we ended up leaving that area. That's when we saw the first sighting of that woman with the concrete on her feet. And I took pictures and told Ash, and we left the area. When we came back maybe an hour later, the wall where his body was hidden was completely patched up, as if a hole had never been there.
So you guys didn't do anything with the body when you saw it?
We didn't touch it. But
that was
Ash...
regrettable.
Why?
The longer a spirit stays in the veil, the only stronger they get. That was your shot.
Well, it might still have another shot because Ash has every intention of grabbing that body. But I wasn't going to do anything without it, making sure Ash was... His intention was to grab that body. He had already stated that.
So Ash wasn't there for any of this?
Not at the time, no. But he arrived shortly later, which is when I told him everything. And when, at that point, we went back and I was going to show him. And that's when it was sealed up. That doesn't mean that we can't get back to it. We know where he's buried.
Not if the bones have moved. If he could patch you over fucking concrete, what makes you think he could just, move his carcass?
That's true. Guess we'll have to find out.
I got a contact that could get us some C4 if needed, but...
That's what Ash was thinking. He wants to get a bunch of bombs and blow that thing back open. He wants to grab that body. He said something about he wants to control the bishop.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming he didn't go into detail on how exactly he plans to pull that fucking cat out of the hat.
No, he didn't explain anything other than that he had plans to control the bishop.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. No one should do that. That's
well,
an
then you
awful
have
idea.
that conversation. Maybe he was just joking. That you can have that conversation with him then.
No, if you made that recommendation like a week ago, sure. But these aren't exactly dressy times anymore.
Maybe.
Alright. Anything else that would be pressing?
No, I think that's pretty much everything at this point. Oh. Okay, well, there's one more thing. You're aware that Justin had put a spell over himself to try to stop his feelings?
Yeah, I believe the word you said is he was PMSing.
Yes. And that was something that Ash had to help reverse. Apparently he's done it again. This time he believes he's done it more correctly because he went to a library to research rather than using Google. But he's doing it in an attempt to gather information from Sky in an unbiased fashion to see if he's a good informant or not. Don't ask me. But I was going to make sure Ash was aware, and I'm figuring you probably should be aware of that too.